Thought I found a way. Thought I found a way, yeah.
This is the torchbearer at the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Their spectacle bears a striking resemblance to the apocalyptic scene from the 2003 movie, The Animatrix, which tells the story of how mankind fell to the machines. And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to unalive with sword, and with hunger, and with unaliveness, and with the beasts of the earth. The horse was ridden up the Seine River by a masked officer of the gendarmerie, a branch of the French armed forces responsible for public safety, policing, and maintaining order. They operate both as a military force and a police force. According to the show's designers, the gendarmerie officer riding the horse symbolizes the strength, resilience, and unity of the Olympic spirit, while underscoring the importance of security and order during such a significant international event.
Yes, 10 years ago it wouldn't happen because everyone seemed to understand back then that drag queen was a type of performative art meant to be seen by adults. It was a nighttime entertainment for adults, okay? How did we go from that to drag queens being honored and part of LGBTQ community? Being drag is not a sexual orientation. Argue with me as much as you want on that. But it's not. So it doesn't even make sense for a drag queen to be referred to as a representation of the rainbow community. It's like having a circus performer being a representative of the straight community. What does it have to do with anything? Yes, drag queens are mostly gay men, but you have straight men performing in drag too. Now somehow, after years of watching how drag queens have been invited to our children's schools to read stories, how they have been performing in front of kids and child-friendly events, how they've been invited to churches, how they took over all major international happenings, we finally arrive at the Olympic ceremony, carrying the torch. For those who take part in Olympics and care for the event, this is an abomination. Because carrying a torch is supposed to be this huge honor. And these people get to do that because they are men who wear women's clothes.
So you're telling me that this represented Joan of Arc, a dark, mysterious hooded figure riding a dark, mysterious horse, doesn't represent this? I mean, and you're telling me that this right here didn't represent this? Because God, they look really familiar, don't they? Gotta love that headdress too, right? And you're telling me that Snoop Dogg, that just so happened to carry the torch to begin with, wearing this, has nothing to do with it either? Oh, because he's the goat of hip hop, supposedly, right? Supposedly, the Olympics said that the performance was an interpretation of the Greek god Dionysus to make us aware of the absurdity of violence between human beings. Violence that definitely wasn't created from a certain deity that aims to mock religion, right? You know, it's funny, so many people are trying to say, oh, well, this is Dionysus and the 12 Olympians. Dionysus wasn't even officially confirmed as an Olympian. And even if he was, and even if that was an interpretation of the 12 Olympians, it has nothing to do with the Olympics to begin with. And even if this did somehow resemble Joan of Arc, right? Does anybody even know the background of Joan of Arc? Kind of like how they made a movie for Napoleon, and then have him shooting at the pyramid in the movie. Is it all of a sudden okay to put your own takes on history? Oh, I forgot, it's a movie, my bad. A movie based on a historical character, but you know, whatever. This entire night was just very confusing, was it not? So many things made absolutely no sense at all. I mean, they literally raised the Olympic flag upside down. Oh my God. Hey, but Palestine showed up, right? That was a beautiful sight to see. But regardless, if you just so happen to think that this was a work of art, you might want to rethink your reality.
Did you guys notice how the drag queens last night at the Paris Olympics opening, they were positioned exactly as in the painting The Last Supper, including the apostles over there at the right. But what is the creepiest is that Judas, who betrayed Jesus, you will see at the painting, they put a little girl, a little baby girl kid there representing Judah, who betrayed Jesus. So creepy. How was this allowed? And very dark times that we live in.
You Christians are so sensitive. That wasn't the Last Supper. That was actually the Feast of Dionysus, and the Olympic Committee has already released a public statement confirming it. Do your research.
Right, okay, despite it looking exactly like the Last Supper painting, how do you explain them worshiping a golden calf exactly like the Old Testament, and them using the apocalyptic horseman exactly like it's depicted in the New Testament?
Oh my gosh, stop misinterpreting the facts. That wasn't the apocalyptic horse. That was actually a famous French symbol of Jeanne d'Arc coming in on her horse. Okay, then I suppose you think it's another coincidence that the organizer of the Olympic opening ceremony was a Talmudic Satanist, a literal devil worshiper. Wait, then that means what is blatantly and obviously being presented before us is being denied. People lie. But still, it's just a religion. You guys are taking this too seriously.
Maybe if it was just religion, you would have a point, but there are obvious adult themes present in an event that were watched by millions of families worldwide, meaning millions of children were exposed to perversion and obvious political leanings that they do not have the faculties nor the maturity to discern on their own. That was the final nail in the coffin. Stop exposing yourself around children.
Ça ira. Les aristocrates à la lanterne. Ça ira, ça ira, ça ira. Les aristocrates, on les pendra.
Really, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are of course really sorry.
Ma volonté n'est pas d'être subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de choquer. Ma volonté est simplement de dire que nous sommes ce grand nous et que hier soir, c'était des idées républicaines, c'était des idées d'inclusion, c'était des idées de bienveillance, de générosité, des idées de solidarité, bref, de ce que je crois nous avons follement besoin. En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers.
There is something incredibly eerie about the way they are trying to cover up the blackout in Paris. Yesterday, per multiple social media users, they were sending out pictures of what appeared to be a massive blackout in Paris, yet no news station is talking about it. When have you ever heard of something like this happening during the Olympics and the news doesn't say anything about it? This coming after the French rails were attacked by a cyber attack is absolutely crazy, and I think they might actually be connected. What are the chances you play with one of the four horses of the apocalypse and then all the fucking power gets shut out? You guys literally mimicked the Last Supper and then all the fucking power went out. Now this is the main picture that I've been seeing going around talking about the blackout, and if you see, everything is fucking dark. And people are saying, oh, maybe everyone's sleeping. No, this is absolutely impossible for everybody to have their lights out at the exact same time. And then right after this, did anybody notice that the opening ceremony was deleted from the Olympics homepage itself? Galatians 6:8 says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." In short terms, Paris, you reap what you sow. I find it pretty coincidental that all your lights went out, yet the only thing that was still lit was a church. Not covering this and talking about the only thing that remained lit was, of course, a church that you see way in the background. There's something very fucking fishy here, and I don't like it. Think about it. They have multiple countries in one place that may or may not like each other, and France was just hit by a cyber attack before this. There is no telling what could happen. But God don't like ugly.
Why is nobody talking about the fact that they just lured like 15 million people to Paris for the Olympics, and then they sabotaged the railways to not 100% trap them there, but at least fucking create a bottleneck on people getting out, and then they cut the power? Is nobody gonna talk about that? Paris has an average population of 2.1 million people, okay? Now, they estimated that 15 million people were gonna be visiting Paris for the Olympics, and then another 2 million people from abroad were gonna be coming. That's a whole lot of fucking people to be stuck in a city with limited ways out. And then the power gets cut? It's a little fucking weird. The Olympics doesn't end until August 11th. That's a lot of fucking time for more railway attacks. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. This is entertainment purposes only. I'm just saying, it's a little fishy. And then they come out with that crazy ass fucking opening ceremony. Even people who live in France were like, what the fuck is this? I think there's a lot of people that need to have a little bit of situational awareness and take a peek around.
And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
They really about to get in this water.
Right. The top 10 athletes picked
They're
first
really
is a
about to
blind
get in
draw.
this
So they
rat,
don't know where one another has
bacteria,
been. Once those have been chosen,
E. coli
they show where the
infested
athletes have
water.
chosen, and then the remaining athletes get to choose one athlete at a time, and it's all based on ranking.
Like, come on, guys. If the water ain't blue, don't get in that shit. Come on, y'all. Don't get in that water. Don't get in that water. They really about to get in this water. Man, guys, if the water ain't blue, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Oh no. Oh my God. They're in that water. Oh my God. I just got sick.